The bullets whistled past my ear like angry hornets, splintering the wooden fence post I ducked behind. My heart pounded in my chest as I gripped my Colt revolver, the cold steel a familiar weight in my calloused hand. It was 1885, under the jagged peaks of Colorado's Rockies, and I'd just ridden into an ambush on my own land. Those outlaw rustlers, 3 of them, faces scarred and eyes hungry, had come for my cattle, but they'd get led instead. I fired twice, the recoil jolting up my arm, and one of them crumpled from his horse with a guttural cry, blood blooming on his shirt. The others scattered into the dawn mist, cursing as they fled. I stood there, breath ragged, the acrid smoke stinging my nostrils.
My name.
Wondering if this solitary life of mine
Eliza.
was finally catching up. Little did I know, that shootout was just the spark to a fire that had burned through everything I held dear. I swung back into the saddle, my bay horse snorting nervously, and headed for my ranch 10 miles outside Silver Ridge. The trail wound through pin-dotted hills, the air crisp with the promise of fall. At 40, I'd built this spread with my own sweat after losing my wife, Sarah, to a fever for years back. She'd been my anchor, her laughter filling the empty spaces of this wild frontier. Now, it was just me, my prayers at dawn, and the endless chores that kept the loneliness at bay. But as I crested a ridge near the crumbling ruins of an old mining shack abandoned, since the silver rush dried up, I spotted something that stopped me cold. A figure huddled against the weathered stones, motionless under a tattered shawl. I dismounted, my boots crunching on gravel, and approached slow, hand hovering near my gun. "Hey there," I called, voice low. "You alive?" She was a woman, young, maybe 28, with hair like raven feathers, tangled in the wind. Her face was a map of bruises, purple and yellow, lips cracked from thirst or worse. She clutched that shore like it was her last breath, hiding whatever horrors lay beneath. My gut twisted. Out here, folks didn't end up like this by accident. "Ma'am," I said, kneeling, "I'm Jacob Harlan. This is my land. You need help." Her eyes fluttered open emerald green, sharp as a mountain stream, and fixed on me with a fear that hit like a punch. She didn't speak, just shivered. I couldn't leave her there. No man worth his salt would. Scooping her up gently, she weighed next to nothing, her body tense but too weak to fight. "You're safe now," I murmured, carrying her to my horse. On my word as a God-fearing man. Back at the ranch, I laid her on the worn sofa by the stone fireplace, stoking the flames until warmth chased the chill. The cabin was simple log walls, a kitchen table scarred from years of use, my Bible on the mantel. I heated some venison broth, the savory smell filling the air, and offered her a spoon. She took it with trembling fingers, sipping once before her eyes dropped, exhaustion claiming her. Who was she? Runaway? Victim of some drifter's cruelty? I watched her sleep, her breaths shallow, and felt a stir in my chest, a protector's instinct, mixed with something deeper I hadn't felt since Sarah, that night. As stars blanketed the sky, I prayed for guidance. The solitude of my life cracking like thin ice, days blurred into a quiet rhythm, but her silence gnawed at me. I'd check on her between mending fences and tending cattle, offering fresh water or bread, but she'd only nod, clutching that shawl tighter. Her bruises faded slow, revealing a beauty that stole my breath. High cheekbones, those piercing eyes. I caught myself wondering about her story, imagining the pain etched in her features. One feverish night, as thunder rumbled outside, she thrashed on the sofa,
My name.
sweat beating her brow.
Eliza.
dabbing her forehead with a cool cloth. "Easy now," I whispered. She grabbed my wrist, eyes wild. "Eliza," she gasped. "My name, Eliza Thorne." It was a start, a thread of trust. She let me tend a gash on her arm, her skin soft under my rough fingers, and in that lamplight, a spark ignited quiet, unspoken, but real. Reverend Ellis rode up a few days later, his black coat dusted from the trail. He was a fixture in Silver Ridge, a man in his 50s with a voice like rolling thunder in his sermons. We'd shared many a Bible study, him helping me through Sarah's passing. "Jacob, brother," he said, dismounting with a warm smile. "Heard you've been keeping to yourself. Everything all right?" I glanced inside, where Elisa sat by the fire. "Got a guest, Reverend?" "Found her hurt near the old shack." He stepped in, eyes kind, but Eliza shrank back, pulling the shawl over her like a shield, her face pale as ash. "No," she whispered, voice breaking. Ellis backed off, puzzled. "The Lord's peace be with you, child." After he left, I sat across from her. "He's a good man, Eliza. Just wanted to pray." She met my gaze, something bitter flickering. "Holy men ain't always what they seem, Jacob. Some hide devils under their collars." Her words planted doubt, like weeds in fertile soil, making me question the pillars I'd leaned on as she healed. Our talks deepened by the hearth. I'd share about Sarah, how her smile lit up the darkest winters, how the fever took her quick, leaving me hollow. "I built this place for us," I said one evening, staring into the flames. "Now it's just echoes." Eliza opened up slow, like a flower after rain. "I was a saloon singer back east," she confessed, voice soft. "Folks called me fallen, shunned me for it. Ran west thinking I'd start fresh, but trouble follows." Her vulnerability mirrored mine, weaving a bond that warmed the cold corners of my heart. I found myself stealing glances, her laughter rare, melodic thing-stirring feelings I'd buried deep. But danger lurked, as it always does out here. The rustlers I'd tangled with returned at dawn, their shadows creeping toward the barn. I heard the horses first, then voices low and menacing. Grabbing my rifle, I shoved Eliza into the hayloft. "Stay hidden," I growled. The leader, a grizzled outlaw named Slade, called out, "Harlan, you killed my brother. Time to pay." Bullets tore through the air as I dove behind a water trough, firing back. One grazed my shoulder, hot pain searing, but I stood tall, revolver barking. Slade fell, clutching his gut, and the others bolted. Eliza emerged, eyes wide, and rushed to me, tearing cloth for a bandage. Her hands lingered on my skin, gentle, electric. "You could have died," she whispered, tears glistening. In that moment, amid the blood and smoke, a forbidden attraction sparked her touch, awakening parts of me long dormant. Defying the whispers of her scandalous past, her fever returned worse, infection from untreated wounds. In her delirium, she muttered names that chilled me. Mayor Langford, Sheriff Kane, Banker Voss. They framed me. The mind fraud, I froze. Those were Silver Ridge's elitesmen I'd tipped my hat to, shared drinks with. What web had she escaped? Desperate to save her, I lifted the shawl's edge while she slept, guilt twisting my gut. Beneath lay a journal, pages crammed with her neat script, detailing a deadly silver mine scam. She'd witnessed Voss cooking books, Langford bribing officials, Kane covering murders to silence workers. They'd framed her as a thief, beaten her to keep quiet, left her for dead. My world shattered. These pillars were vipers, poisoning the town I'd called home. Rage boiled in me, protective fire for this woman who'd stumbled into my life. As Eliza mended, our connection grew tender. We'd ride horseback under starry skies, the Rockies looming like silent guardians. One night, by a creek's murmur, I took her hand. "Eliza, you've stirred something in me I thought was gone. I love you, past be damned." She pulled back, eyes stormy. "Society won't have it, Jacob. I'm no good for a man like you." But the pull was stronger. Our hearts entangled in a dance of longing and fear. Trouble escalated on a supply run to Silver Ridge. Hired guns from the cabal ambushed us in the dusty streets. 3 hard cases with badges bought by Kane, Harlan's, harboring a thief. One yelled. I drew fast, outdrawing 2 in a blur of gunsmoke, bullets kicking up dirt. The third aimed at a bystander child, frozen in terror. I tackled him, fist connecting with jaw in a crunch. Eliza, hidden nearby, screamed my name. Back at the ranch, rain poured as she confronted me. "This is my fault. Leave me be." I grabbed her arms, pulling her close. "I won't lose you." Our kiss was a storm, passion and pain crashing, her lips soft against mine, bodies pressing in desperate need. It was forbidden, raw healing wounds we didn't know we carried. Rumors swirled like dust devils in town. Old friends like Tom Wilkins, the blacksmith, shunned me at the general store. "Heard you're keeping company with that saloon gal," he muttered. "Bad for business, Jacob." It mirrored Eliza's pain, abandoned by her family for her choices, labeled fallen, but it strengthened us. We'd sit on the porch, her head on my shoulder, sharing dreams of a life free from judgment. Secondary folks like Widow Hayes, a kind neighbor who'd lost her husband to outlaws, brought pies and words of caution. "Love's a risk out here, but worth fighting for," she'd say, her eyes twinkling with memories. The third threat hit like a blizzard. Eliza's journal revealed the cabal's plot, sabotaging the incoming railroad for profit, dynamiting tracks to force reroutes through their minds. That midnight raiders stormed the Ranch Kane's men, torches flaring. I barricaded the door, rifle ready. "Get to the cellar," I yelled to Eliza. Gunfire erupted, windows shattering. I fired from cover, embodying the untamed grit of this frontier, bullets pinging off logs. One grazed my leg, but I held, dropping to assailants in the chaos. Eliza emerged with my spare pistol, her shot felling another. We stood back to back, hearts pounding in unison. The conspiracy unraveled slow. Clues in her journal pointing to murders workers buried in shallow graves to hide the fraud. I wondered if allies like Reverend Ellis were traitors. His sermons on greed suddenly rang hollow. Suspense built as I deciphered codes, dread knotting my stomach. Eliza's deepest shame surfaced in a heated argument. My family cast me out for singing in saloons, said I was ruined. "How can you love that?" I vowed, "I'll fight for us," but threats of ostracism, town council petitions to run us out created heart-trenching barriers. I allied secretly with Federal Marshal Reed, a grizzled lawman passing through. We met in a shadowed canyon, but betrayal structure of Kane ambushed, guns blazing. Chaos erupted. I dove behind rocks, returning fire in a heroic stand, bullets ricocheting. Reed fell wounded. I dragged him to cover, outgunning to deputies. Eliza, who'd followed against my wishes, rode in like a fury, her presence saving me from a backshot. In the aftermath, under a full moon, we bared our souls. I was broken before you, she whispered, tears falling. But your love mends me. I held her, admitting, you've given me purpose again. Our love transformed resilience into unbreakable strength. Defying the world's judgments, the climax came at the Mina dynamite trap, set to bury evidence and us with it. The cabal's ploy drew me in. Gunfights echoed through tunnels, my determination clashing with villains in raw drama. Langford sneered, you'll die for that whore. I fought hand to hand, fists and knives, the untamed masculinity of the West surging. Eliza risked all, sneaking in. Her shot saved me from Voss's blade, leading to a tearful reunion amid rubble. Prejudices crumbled as we embraced, love exploding in cathartic release. With evidence, exposed journal pages mailed to authorities, the corrupt fell. Mayor Langford resigned in shame, fleeing east. Sheriff Kane rotted in prison. Banker Voss faced the noose. Justice renewed Silver Ridge, our union inspiring the town. Widow Hayes hosted our simple vows as winter thawed, wildflowers blooming. We rebuilt on the ranch, quiet life, meaningful her song by the fire. My arms around her, scars, symbols of rebirth, years on. Our story whispered through Silver Ridge, a testament to love's triumph over prejudice. In the Wild West's trials, true resilience bloomed from believing in each other's broken yet unbreakable spirits. We'd faced ambushes, corruption, and societal scorn, but emerged stronger. Our hearts entwined in the vast, unforgiving beauty of Colorado.